Most people hear the word cholesterol and instantly shrug it off, assuming it's just another medical term doctors like to scare us with, something distant, manageable, and definitely not urgent. But what if the real danger of cholesterol is exactly how quietly it lives inside you, how it grows without announcing itself, how it waits patiently while you go on with your daily life, believing you're fine, until one ordinary day turns into a moment that changes everything? Cholesterol doesn't come crashing into your life with loud warnings or dramatic signals. It slips in silently, building pressure where you can't feel it, tightening spaces you don't see, and slowly rewriting your future while you're busy planning next week, next year, or retirement. People often believe serious health problems always come with obvious signs, but cholesterol thrives on that belief because it doesn't need pain or visible distress to do its damage. It needs time, neglect, and the comfort of false reassurance. Every year, countless individuals are shocked to learn that something they never felt, never noticed, and never worried about had been quietly shaping their health for years, and the realization usually comes too late, in a hospital room, during a frightening phone call, or after a moment that can never be undone. Cholesterol is especially dangerous because it hides behind normal routines and familiar faces. It affects people who look healthy, who feel productive, who are active, busy, and full of plans. And that's what makes it so unsettling. There is no clear line between safe and at risk that you can see with your eyes. It doesn't care about age, confidence, or assumptions, and it doesn't wait for permission to progress. Many people only start taking cholesterol seriously after witnessing someone close to them suddenly face a life-altering event, and in that moment, a single thought echoes in their mind again and again. How did this happen without anyone knowing? That question alone reveals the true threat of cholesterol, not its name, but its silence. The fear isn't just about what cholesterol is, but about what it can take away without warning: independence, peace of mind, time with loved ones, and the sense of control we believe we have over our bodies. It's unsettling to realize that something so common, so frequently mentioned, and so easily dismissed can be linked to outcomes that are anything but ordinary. Cholesterol doesn't announce its presence. It waits in the background of your life, blending into normality, growing stronger as your attention stays elsewhere. And that's why understanding cholesterol isn't just about health, it's about awareness, responsibility, and the uncomfortable truth that feeling fine doesn't always mean being fine. If there's one reason to keep listening, it's this: cholesterol is not a problem of the future or of other people. It's a quiet possibility in the present, and the sooner you truly understand its seriousness, the better chance you have to protect what matters most before silence turns into regret. Cholesterol, in simple words, is a waxy, fat-like substance that exists naturally in your body and plays a role in many normal functions, but it becomes a disease when its balance is disturbed and it starts accumulating in places where it does not belong. Think of cholesterol as something your body needs, in small, controlled amounts, similar to fuel in a car, but when there is too much of it circulating in the blood, it begins to settle along the inner walls of blood vessels, slowly changing their structure and behavior. Over time, this buildup makes the blood vessels narrower, stiffer, and less flexible, which means blood cannot flow as smoothly or freely as it should. This process does not happen overnight. It develops quietly over many years, which is why cholesterol is often misunderstood and underestimated. Many people believe cholesterol is only a number on a lab report, but in reality, it represents an ongoing condition inside the body that can influence how well your heart, brain, and other vital organs receive oxygen and nutrients. When cholesterol levels remain high for a long time, the body begins to struggle to maintain normal circulation, and this strain affects the entire system, not just one organ. What makes cholesterol particularly concerning is that it does not behave like an infection or an injury. There is no sudden warning, no obvious signal that something is going wrong. Instead, it gradually alters the internal environment of your body, often while you feel completely normal. From a medical point of view, cholesterol disease is not just about fat in the blood. It is about the long-term impact of that fat on blood flow, vessel health, and overall stability of the cardiovascular system. It is a condition that develops silently, influenced by lifestyle, genetics, and time, and once established, it can quietly increase vulnerability to serious events without announcing its presence. Many patients are surprised to learn that cholesterol disease can exist even in people who appear fit or active, because outward appearance does not always reflect what is happening inside the arteries. This is why doctors treat cholesterol not as a short-term issue, but as a long-term health condition that requires understanding, awareness, and attention. When we talk about cholesterol as a disease, we are really talking about an imbalance that slowly shifts the body from a state of health toward a state of risk, often without discomfort or disruption in daily life. Understanding this helps change the way we think about cholesterol, from something abstract or distant to something real and personal that deserves respect. If you take one thing from this explanation, let it be this: cholesterol disease is not about fear, but about awareness, because knowing what it truly is gives you the power to protect your health before silent changes turn into serious consequences. And staying informed is one of the most caring choices you can make for yourself and the people who depend on you. When we talk about why cholesterol disease develops, it is important to understand that it is usually not caused by one single thing, but by a combination of habits, body processes, and life circumstances that slowly add up over time. In my experience with patients, one of the biggest reasons cholesterol levels rise is the way modern life shapes our daily choices, often without us realizing it. Many people live busy lives, rely on convenient foods, sit for long hours, and stay under constant stress, and all of this quietly affects how the body handles fats in the blood. The liver, which plays a major role in managing cholesterol, can become overwhelmed when it constantly receives signals that encourage cholesterol production rather than balance. Family history also plays a powerful role, because some bodies are genetically programmed to make more cholesterol or clear it less efficiently, even when a person feels they are doing everything right. This can be frustrating and confusing, especially when you compare yourself to others who seem unaffected. But genetics are a reality we must respect, not blame ourselves for. As people grow older, natural changes in the body also influence cholesterol levels, because metabolism slows down and blood vessels lose some of their flexibility, making it easier for cholesterol to settle where it shouldn't. Hormonal changes, especially during certain stages of life, can further shift cholesterol balance in ways that are not always obvious. Emotional stress is another hidden contributor that many people underestimate. Chronic stress sends signals through the body that can affect liver function, blood chemistry, and overall balance, slowly pushing cholesterol higher without causing immediate symptoms. Lack of regular movement also plays a role, not because everyone needs intense exercise, but because the body is designed to move, and when movement disappears from daily life, cholesterol regulation often suffers. Even sleep patterns matter more than people think, because poor or irregular sleep disrupts the body's natural rhythm and can interfere with how fats are processed. Certain medical conditions can also influence cholesterol levels by changing how the body stores and uses energy, and sometimes medications taken for other reasons can have an unexpected effect on cholesterol balance as well. What makes all of this challenging is that these causes do not usually feel dramatic or dangerous in the moment. They feel normal, familiar, and manageable, which is why cholesterol disease often develops quietly over many years. Patients often tell me they wish they had understood earlier that cholesterol is shaped by long-term patterns, not short-term mistakes. The most important thing to remember is that causes are not about guilt or failure, but about understanding how the body responds to life as it is lived. When you understand the reasons cholesterol rises, you begin to see that awareness is the first step toward change, and even small adjustments made with consistency can shift the direction of your health. If you are listening to this and recognizing parts of your own life in these explanations, take that as a gentle invitation to stay engaged, because learning about the causes is not meant to scare you, but to empower you to care for your body with more kindness, intention, and hope for a healthier future. One of the most confusing and unsettling things about cholesterol disease is that it often has no clear symptoms at all, and this is something I gently but honestly explain to my patients because it goes against what most of us expect from illness. Many people believe that if something is wrong inside the body, they will feel pain, weakness, or some obvious warning, but cholesterol does not usually work that way. For years, sometimes even decades, cholesterol levels can remain high while a person feels completely normal, goes to work, takes care of family, and lives life without any discomfort. This absence of symptoms is not a sign of safety. It is actually what makes cholesterol disease so dangerous. In some cases, people may notice very subtle changes that are easy to ignore or blame on stress or aging, such as feeling tired more often than usual, getting short of breath with activities that were once easy, or feeling a strange heaviness in the body that doesn't quite make sense. Others might experience mild chest discomfort, pressure, or tightness that comes and goes and is brushed off as gas or anxiety. Some people notice dizziness, headaches, or a sense that their energy levels are slowly declining. But because these feelings are not sharp or dramatic, they rarely raise alarm. In more advanced stages, cholesterol buildup can affect blood flow enough to cause symptoms related to the heart or brain, such as chest pain during exertion, pain spreading to the arm or jaw, or sudden weakness on one side of the body. But by the time these appear, the disease has often been present for a long time. I have met patients who were shocked to discover that their first real symptom was a serious event, and they often say the same thing. They felt fine just days or weeks before. This is why doctors emphasize testing and awareness rather than waiting for symptoms to appear. Cholesterol disease does not announce itself with early warning signs that are easy to recognize, and that silence can create a false sense of security. Sometimes physical signs like small fatty deposits around the eyes or changes in skin appearance may occur, but these are not always present and are often overlooked. The body is remarkably good at adapting, and it will compensate for reduced blood flow for as long as it can, masking the problem until the strain becomes too great. From a caring medical perspective, the absence of symptoms should never be a reason to ignore cholesterol, but rather a reason to respect it more. Feeling well today does not always reflect what is happening inside your blood vessels, and that realization can be uncomfortable, but it is also empowering. If you are listening to this and thinking that nothing here sounds dramatic or urgent, that feeling itself is part of the problem cholesterol creates. I want you to remember that protecting your health is not about waiting for pain, but about listening to knowledge. Stay with this information, take it seriously, and if this topic feels personal in any way, let it be a gentle push to care for yourself proactively, because your future health is worth paying attention to today. When we talk about preventing cholesterol disease, I want you to understand this is not about perfection or fear, but about gentle, steady care for your body over time, because prevention works best when it feels realistic and kind rather than strict or overwhelming. In my years of speaking with patients, I have seen that the most powerful prevention begins with small daily choices that slowly guide the body back toward balance. The body responds beautifully when it is supported consistently, and even modest changes can make a meaningful difference when they are maintained with patience. What you eat regularly matters, not in a way that demands constant restriction, but in a way that encourages nourishment, balance, and awareness, because food sends signals to your body every single day about how to manage fats in the blood. Movement is another quiet but powerful form of prevention, not because you need intense workouts, but because regular activity reminds your body how to process energy properly and keep blood flowing smoothly through the vessels. Even gentle movement done most days can help the body maintain healthier patterns over time. Managing stress also plays a larger role than many people realize, because ongoing emotional pressure affects hormones and internal balance, and when stress is left unchecked, it can quietly influence cholesterol levels without you noticing. Learning to slow down, breathe, rest, and create moments of calm is not a luxury. It is a form of protection. Sleep deserves special attention as well, because the body repairs and resets itself during rest, and poor sleep can interfere with how cholesterol is handled in the bloodstream. Preventing cholesterol disease also means paying attention to your health even when you feel well, because waiting for symptoms is not a reliable strategy. Regular health checkups are not about expecting bad news, but about staying informed so small concerns can be addressed before they become serious problems. For those with a family history of cholesterol issues, prevention becomes even more important, not as a source of worry, but as an opportunity to be proactive and informed. I often remind patients that prevention is not about doing everything at once, but about choosing one or two areas to improve and building from there with consistency. Your body remembers patterns, and when you create healthier routines, it responds in supportive ways. Perhaps most importantly, prevention involves changing the way you think about your health, shifting from a mindset of reaction to one of care. You are not trying to avoid a future problem out of fear, but to protect your energy, independence, and quality of life out of self-respect. If you are listening to this and feeling a quiet sense of motivation or concern, let that feeling guide you gently forward. You do not need to be perfect, you just need to begin. Taking steps to prevent cholesterol disease is an act of care not only for yourself, but for the people who want you healthy and present for years to come. And if this message helps you pause, reflect, and choose yourself today, then you are already moving in the right direction. When we talk about treating cholesterol disease, it's important to understand that treatment is not about punishment or drastic measures, but about guiding the body back to balance with care, consistency, and knowledge. Treating cholesterol involves a combination of lifestyle adjustments, medical guidance, and ongoing attention, and the goal is always to reduce risk, improve circulation, and protect your heart and blood vessels from long-term harm. One of the first and most effective approaches I discuss with patients is making realistic changes to daily habits, because the body responds remarkably well when given consistent signals of support. This might mean gradually improving the quality of your meals, choosing more vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats, and reducing foods that are high in saturated or trans fats. Small, sustainable changes are far more effective than sudden extremes because they create lasting patterns that the body can rely on. Movement is equally important in treatment. It doesn't have to be intense, but consistent physical activity helps your body process cholesterol more efficiently, strengthens the heart, and improves overall circulation. Even simple activities like walking daily, stretching, or gentle exercise routines can have a cumulative effect over time, and I always encourage patients to find activities they enjoy so that movement feels natural and rewarding rather than a chore. For many people, medical treatment may also be necessary, and this can include medications prescribed by a healthcare professional that help regulate cholesterol levels, reduce harmful particles in the blood, and support the heart and blood vessels. These medications are tools, not a replacement for lifestyle care, and when combined with healthy routines, they create a strong foundation for long-term health. Monitoring progress is another key part of treatment. Regular checkups and blood tests allow both you and your doctor to see how your body is responding, adjust strategies if needed, and celebrate improvements along the way. Education is also part of treatment, because understanding why certain foods, habits, and choices matter helps you feel empowered rather than restricted, and it allows you to take ownership of your health journey. Emotional support can be just as important, because managing cholesterol can feel overwhelming, and having a caring healthcare provider, family member, or friend involved can help maintain motivation and confidence. Treatment is not about perfection or immediate results. It is about patience, consistency, and respect for the body's natural rhythms. Every small positive choice adds up over weeks and months, creating a meaningful impact on your overall risk and quality of life. I want you to understand that treating cholesterol is an act of self-care, and it's never too late to begin. Even if you've ignored your health in the past, each step you take now has value, and your body responds to care at any stage. If you are listening to this and feeling a mix of concern and hope, let that be your guide to action, because choosing to address cholesterol thoughtfully is choosing a healthier, more secure future for yourself and the people who love you. And every effort you make today is a gift of care that your future self will deeply thank you for. As we come to the gentle close of this discussion, I want you to take a moment and reflect on everything you've just learned, not as a list of warnings or rules, but as a roadmap for caring for yourself in a way that feels meaningful and personal. Cholesterol disease, like many silent conditions, is not something to fear endlessly, but something to understand with compassion and attention, because awareness is the first step toward lasting change. Think of your body as a lifelong companion that responds to the choices you make, the care you give, and the attention you pay, and recognize that even small, consistent actions, whether choosing a healthier meal, taking a short walk, or prioritizing rest, have the power to shift your health in profound ways over time. Remember that this is not about perfection or guilt. It's about gently noticing patterns and making adjustments that feel manageable, because when care is consistent and kind, the body responds in ways that are remarkable. If you feel concerned or even a little anxious, let that emotion guide you toward proactive steps rather than letting it overwhelm you, and understand that taking care of cholesterol is really an act of love for yourself and for the people who depend on you. Life is full of busy moments, distractions, and pressures, but carving out small opportunities to prioritize your health is one of the most important commitments you can make. It doesn't have to be dramatic or immediate. It only needs to be steady, thoughtful, and intentional. And as you listen to this, I want you to carry forward a sense of hope, because knowledge empowers you to act before silent problems become serious, and every step you take, no matter how small, is a way of investing in the future of your body, your energy, and your life. Let this be a moment to pause, reflect, and commit gently to care for yourself, not out of fear, but out of respect, awareness, and a desire to live fully and vibrantly. Your body has an incredible ability to respond when it is treated with attention and kindness, and remembering that will guide you through each choice you make from this moment forward. In this quiet reflection, allow yourself to feel that you are capable, that you are in charge of what you can influence, and that by acting now, you are giving yourself the greatest gift, the possibility of a healthier, more secure, and more joyful life in the years to come.